Hello YouTube, it's your boy Archie Warren here. I'm mostly making this video to clarify something with you guys. If you're from the UK, you'll be aware that I am known by a name which I don't want to be anymore, and I will explain why. But it's the Milky Bar, because if you look really carefully, you probably can only see this. I'll try and throw out my head. But I've got a big old scar on my head there, where basically I actually died at the side of the road. Basically, there's a hole in my skull. Now, the title of this is going to be Jesus Healing, and I'm going to continue calling it that. I only call it that so that you know what I'm talking about. I actually call it something completely different, but, you know, just like the last video, several words, same thing. And now for that Jesus healing, I not only prevented myself from leaving this plane, and I haven't only just said that I've said to my parents, and this is to do with the Star of David, that I picked them, meaning that I remote viewed there. You can remote view up, you can remote view down. I'm not going to go into a further explanation. If you want to know more, come find me. If not, go find it yourself. So, I've done the remote view surgery. I've done the prevent death surgery. I've done the reprogram organ surgery. I'm currently doing what's called the Lemurian activation surgery. I firstly did it upon myself. I now absolutely love fruit. Used to hate it. You could do it to Atlantis if you don't know what Lemuria is. It basically means exactly the same thing. Or original God code DNA, which means Lemurian DNA activation. Or Christ activation, Christ DNA activation. I've also prevented near-death scenarios, not only myself and others. I've also done, I don't know if this is actually under Jesus healing, it's kind of time manipulation, timeline manipulation. Several times I've been in near-death situations, mostly on push bikes or motorbikes, and these situations have literally had one scenario where I would be here with you guys, and all the rest of them I wouldn't. That is a type of interdimensional adjustment or alignment. It does not come under Jesus healing. But so I can remake things, I can prevent death. I'm working on a form of magic tech which will allow beings to stay alive, as they said in the Bible. Basically, come find me if you want to know more about that, because I'm missing the funding. I've also kind of want to do this one myself, and it's going to be under the title of Angel Tech, but I believe I have the missing piece for electric cars. So instead of you taking the electric from the system, you would plug your car back into the system, or you would take the in power wire to your house and plug this unit into that, and then take yourself back off the grid. Would paradigm shift the planet, but I am fully aware of what blacklisting technology is. I have prevented this from being in the wrong hands, and this is why I keep it up here, you guys. I believe a beta model would cost less than 20 grand UK, yeah. I also do exorcisms, mediums, and channeling, though there is someone I know who actually does that slightly better. I can get the message because my third ear, or 7th chakra is crown chakra, you know, the aura, that, you know, Gnostic texts and Buddhist, Hindu, you know. Something I will mention, you want to know layman's terms of the missing teachings of Christ. Go study the Hindu faith or the Buddhist faith, because everything they say is entirely accurate. You know, you change their terms for gods to archangels or Elohim, and, you know, bang. Yeah. So, I also can guide people around astral, but most astral or higher heaven based things require a lot of respect, a lot of pomp, a lot of ceremony. It takes time, it takes dedication, and believe me, if you want to go past the astral, you will have to have activated astral chakras, the 8th one being the cosmic heart, the 9th one being heavenly acceptance. It took me years working that one out, and you try and rush the 9th astral chakra, and I'm going to use this diagram again. Wrong way. Oh, a little bit more. Now, it's going to be really hard for you guys to see. You might not even be able to see it, so I'll probably pick the wrong camera for this. But you see where the 9th is there? Where is it? I think it's not. The 9th is... shit. Basically, you see it's off bit. Now, it is actually there, where it's not actually in line with all the rest of them, because it's to prove that not only you have got to go towards it, they've got to also go towards you. The 10th astral chakra is heavenly alignment. Now, I haven't fully aligned all astral chakras, so I don't know the names of all of them. But basically, it's just 11 and 12. Just like I haven't fully akashically aligned, just like in that last video. It's an ongoing process. Something, if you read Hermetic texts, will tell you that each step on the ladder is just another step, and it is a continuous process being divine, you know. So if you're wondering when it's going to end, the ladder's so long that no human being could ever answer that question for you. There are also a few other things I can do, and this was when I did that channeling video, which was actually last year. It actually happened 11/11, because I am but a man, and you know, I sinned. Basically, I got laid. That happens very often, but basically the day after I did that, I did get asked a few months ago, you know, we're going to get you to do something at that date. I think that was the angels and that saying, you know, do you really trust us type scenario. You know, still am actually really poor. The only instructions I got was Edinburgh 10/11, which I obviously knew was the 10th of the 11th. Had to do several hours of chanting because they wanted me to go, let's see this diagram, a little bit more, to go to the 5th one of these circles, because when they say heaven is on earth, you guys, it never stopped being on earth, and to speak with properly divine beings. And I knew, because it was that much of a message, I was going to speak to divine beings. So I knew I had to get to either what's called Lion's Gate, or the second cosmic womb, or the end of polarity, or Heaven 5, Dimension 5. I really don't mind what you call it. But just before I did that video, I was trying to find the crystalline grid, which is very strong in Edinburgh. Very, very strong. If you want to speak to heavenly beings, it's very much helped going to somewhere that's strong with the crystalline grid. I know a few of them, obviously Edinburgh in Scotland. Cryan gives you the exact location if you follow his channel. Mount Shasta, Egypt, Mount Sion. Apparently there are 7 places on the planet where those are really strong. Those are the 4 I know currently. I think where the Mayan civilization was one. I haven't proved that. And I think where the Chinese original, you know, the original emperor of China built his temple complex there. I think that is another one. So that's 6 out of the 7. Though don't quote me on the last 2. But the bit I was trying to say, and this is why I've become so fascinated with or Jesus healing, or whatever you want to call that. Basically, on the morning of the 11th, I was going around planting trees, and now the reason I'm posting this video is because I didn't take the weather forecast information, but it was the second time I was actually trying to change the weather, and I got most of the way through it, and bang, Archangel Michael turned up. I just knew it was because normally I only see colour when it's angels because I haven't fully opened my third eye or fully kundalini yet. And he says to me, he was like, yeah, I did tell you to practice stuff, but am I supposed to go back to God and tell him that someone of your level is only going to be fucking around with weather and yourself? And I was like, well, no, that's not what I want to be known for. And he was like, well, you will, one more time in your life, be asked to change the weather. But this is the last time you need to practice it. This is 2 out of 2, and you've done it, so don't do it again. And you'll just have to take my word for this. The 3 days I was there, it was supposed to rain, snow, rain. If you see that channeling video, it's definitely not raining. It basically started raining the moment I finished that. And it was like freezing snow, freezing snow. So the 2 nights I stayed on the street were interesting. Luckily, I found a mattress and dragged it under this building site and got out before the builders turned up. But yeah, so if you want to know what I can do and you want to help with any of those subjects, please hit me up, or not. Anyway, I respect your free will far more than I respect other things, and have a good life. Namaste, amen, hallelujah. See you on the other side.